When the court documents are released, the internet explodes, and that's exactly what happened with the 2026 Diddy filings. A-list names are being thrown around, but what does it really mean when a celebrity is mentioned in a legal case? Are they implicated or simply referenced? In 2024 and 2025, Sean Diddy Combs went from being one of the most powerful names in entertainment to one of the most controversial figures in modern celebrity culture. By 2026, the case had grown into a complex legal web involving criminal charges, civil lawsuits, witness testimony, and a flood of public documents. As the evidence became public, it didn't just include the central figures, it also referenced a surprising list of A-list celebrities. Some names appeared in courtroom testimony, others were listed in legal filings, and many were included simply because they were connected to the events, people, or parties being discussed. Yet, even with this dramatic list of famous names, it's important to understand what being mentioned in a filing actually means. At the core of the controversy is a simple truth. Being named in a court filing is not the same as being accused of a crime. Many of the celebrities referenced in the Diddy case appear in documents as part of background context or witness statements. In some cases, they are named as individuals who attended parties or were referenced in text messages. In other cases, their names appear in civil complaints where they may be mentioned as part of the narrative, not necessarily as defendants. Because legal documents are public, these mentions become headlines, and the public often assumes that a mention equals guilt. The reality is far more complicated. One of the earliest public glimpses into the scale of celebrity involvement came during jury selection. During the federal criminal trial, prosecutors and defense attorneys provided potential jurors with a list of names that might be referenced during testimony. This is a common procedure in high-profile cases, especially when the defendants are famous and the events involve a wide social circle. The purpose is not to accuse anyone on the list. It is simply to determine whether jurors may have prior knowledge or biases that could affect their impartiality. The list included names that ranged from music producers to actors and athletes, all connected to the broader social network surrounding Combs. Among the most notable names included in this jury list were Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and several others. These names grabbed headlines because they are household figures, but it is essential to note that their inclusion in a jury list does not mean they were implicated in wrongdoing. Instead, their names were considered potential references that might arise during testimony or in evidence. For example, Michael B. Jordan was referenced in relation to an earlier relationship involving a key witness. The inclusion of his name simply reflected the fact that the witness had been involved in conversations or events that referenced him, not that he was a target of investigation. Similarly, other names such as Lauren London and various music industry executives appeared because of their proximity to the environment in which the alleged incidents occurred. In high-profile legal cases, the presence of celebrity names often reflects the reality that famous people operate within interconnected social networks. When one individual is accused of misconduct, the people around them, even those who had no involvement in the alleged wrongdoing, may appear in documents simply because they were present at events or were mentioned in conversations. Beyond the jury list, many celebrity names surfaced during witness testimony. In the federal trial, testimony from key witnesses included references to parties, text messages, and social situations that involved other public figures. These mentions were not always direct. Sometimes they were casual references used to provide context or explain social dynamics. Even so, the public often interprets any mention of a celebrity as evidence of deeper involvement, which is not necessarily true. One of the most widely discussed aspects of the testimony was the reference to several well-known figures who were not defendants, but were mentioned in connection to social gatherings or communication threads. In several instances, witnesses described events where celebrities were present or discussed in text, and those names then became part of the public record. Again, the key point is that being mentioned does not equate to being accused. The inclusion of high-profile names in civil suits also raised questions about the motivations behind naming them. In many cases, plaintiffs may include well-known figures to draw attention to their claims or to establish a sense of scale or influence. In other cases, the inclusion may be based on witness statements or text messages that reference these individuals. However, the fact remains that a civil complaint is merely a claim. It is not proof of guilt. Beyond civil and criminal documents, the Diddy case also saw a surge of media speculation based on redacted documents and anonymous claims. This is where the line between confirmed evidence and rumor becomes blurred. In many high-profile cases, redactions are used to protect sensitive information, such as the identities of minors or individuals who are not directly involved in the case. When a name is redacted, it creates a void that is quickly filled by speculation. Media outlets and social media users often try to guess who is being protected, and these guesses can quickly become widely accepted narratives, even without evidence. Additionally, the case saw unverified claims from third parties and attorneys who may have had limited access to actual evidence. Some individuals claimed that explicit recordings or tapes existed involving multiple celebrities. These claims were often sensational and lacked verification. While they made for compelling headlines, they did not constitute evidence in court. In legal terms, such claims are considered speculation unless they are supported by authenticated documents or testimony under oath. The broader issue here is the public's tendency to assume that celebrity mentions equate to guilt. In reality, many of the names that surfaced were part of social conversations or casual references. They were not accused of wrongdoing. Yet the presence of their names in public documents caused reputational damage simply because the public assumed the worst. This raises an important ethical question. How should society interpret the appearance of celebrity names in legal filings? In a world where social media amplifies everything, the line between accusation and reference becomes increasingly thin. People are often judged by their associations rather than their actions. When a celebrity is mentioned in a case like this, the public frequently assumes guilt, even without evidence. This is a key reason why many legal experts warn against drawing conclusions based solely on name mentions. Another important factor is the role of privilege in how these cases are perceived. High-profile individuals have the resources to defend themselves publicly and legally. They can hire top attorneys, issue statements, and use their platforms to deny allegations. For many ordinary people, a similar accusation could be devastating without the means to fight it. The Diddy case highlighted this disparity. While some named celebrities quickly denied allegations, others remained silent, either due to legal strategy or fear of public backlash. The Diddy case also highlighted how public perception can shape legal outcomes. In high-profile trials, jurors are aware of media coverage and public opinion. Even though courts attempt to isolate jurors from external influence, it is impossible to fully eliminate the impact of public narratives. The inclusion of celebrity names in evidence complicates this further because it increases public interest and speculation. By 2026, the Diddy case had become a cautionary example of how celebrity culture intersects with legal systems. It showed how public documents can be misinterpreted, how rumors can be treated as facts, and how the public's appetite for scandal can override the basic principle of innocent until proven guilty. It also raised broader questions about the power of social media and the ethics of public shaming. Ultimately, the A-list names that appeared in the Diddy filings reflect a reality that is uncomfortable but true. The entertainment industry is a tightly connected network, and when one person's behavior is questioned, many others become part of the story. Some of those names were referenced purely because of proximity or association, not because of involvement in wrongdoing. But the public's reaction often ignores this distinction. The most important takeaway is that the presence of a name in a filing does not prove guilt. It may indicate that the person was referenced in a conversation, attended an event, or was part of a social circle. It may also mean that a plaintiff included their name for context or attention. The legal system requires evidence, testimony, and due process before any conclusion can be reached. Until that happens, the public should treat name mentions as what they are: references, not verdicts. If you want more deep dives into Hollywood scandals, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And comment below, which A-list name shocked you the most in the Diddy filings?